some of the Fempire. I'm so excited, and we are a growing every day, and it's just so exciting to have you guys as our founding artists in this area. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I may have spoken to some of you over Facebook and things, but I first got started with Alcone back in February 2013. And I'm not a trained makeup artist like you guys, but I am a makeup junkie. And I like to say I'm an expert in trying makeup. I've tried everything from department store brands to very high-end, spending multiple hundreds of dollars on makeup. When I first was introduced to the Alcone line, I fell in love. There's really no other way I can say it. I took everything I had in my numerous drawers in my bathroom and threw it all away. And I've never looked back ever since. So if you would have asked me 2 years ago, would I ever be a direct selling person, I would have told you you're crazy. But when I tried these products and I knew that I had a secret to share with women all over the world and a few good men, I just knew I had to get involved. And I knew I wanted to get involved in a big way. I always like to talk about my why and why I got involved in this business, and I hope some of you will share with me your why, because I think it's really powerful to, think about what direct selling can do for us women and becoming our own bosses and entrepreneurs. And I am really passionate about empowering women all over the country to be their own boss and to be their own entrepreneurs. And we are in such a unique position with this company to take it wherever we want it to go and build the life we've always dreamed of having. And I asked myself, why not me? Why not me be one of those people that's making six figures, right? That's running her own company on her own time in her own way and being her own boss. And I was struck by a statistic that I read last year that said 80% of women entrepreneurs made over six figures doing a direct selling business. It's pretty powerful. But just to touch on a couple things about the website, there's 3 different catalogs in the website, and I just want to make sure you guys are all aware of this. So there is the distributor catalog, which is when you log in with your login and your password. That gives you wholesale prices. And that catalog really should only be used when you want to purchase products for yourself. And the reason is, if you purchase products for a customer on your distributor catalog, they will get an invoice with wholesale prices on it. And you don't really want your customer to know what you're paying versus what they're paying. Because I've done it before, so be mindful. The second catalog is your replicated catalog, and that's the retail catalog. So that's when, like Victoria was saying, you have a one-off order. You have somebody who says, I need to reorder, or I want to order. How do I do it? They want to go to the www.alconeathome.com/whatever your username is, and then they are sure that those sales will get credited to you. And then the third catalog is the party catalog. Moving on to party planning. I've been repping the company for a little over a year now. I've done about probably close to 150 parties. I'd like to say I tried everything, and I've done every different type of party because I've really sort of tried to find that perfect formula of what makes for a successful party. And I'm happy to say that I'm now at the point in my business where I'm actually turning hostesses away because I can't accommodate them. I have too many requests for parties and not enough team members in my area. So that's something that I'm personally focusing on too, is recruiting in my area. So if you guys know of anybody in the Hartford, Connecticut area, please let me know. But a couple of things about parties. So it's always kind of fun to think of a theme for a party. I've done makeover your makeup bag parties. I've done mother-daughter parties. I've done teen parties. I've done mimosas and makeup. What else have I done? You know, and then a lot of times I've done 5 ways to look younger. I've done top trends for whatever season we're in. Top 5 trends for fall, top 5 trends for holiday or spring. But I always find that a party takes on its own life. Yes? So, you know, you go to this party with a theme or whatever, but it does always take on a life of its own, depending on how many people you have there or what have you. But what I find, you know, when you set up your party, you always want the presentation to be pretty and inviting and welcoming, right? You always want to showcase the products. And the way that I do that, and we can maybe show a couple of pictures, if Kathy has some pictures on her laptop that we can show. I'm sure you guys have even seen them on Facebook. But I try to take the makeup out of the palettes because I think it makes it a little less intimidating. So I put it on either a mirrored tray or a little round sort of charger plate type of thing where it's shiny and pretty. And this encourages a lot of times people to get involved. Touch, feel, test. So the presentation of the table, I find, is always important. And then, of course, there's the organizational side of your party. You want to make sure you're organized with clipboards and order forms and catalogs, maybe like a wish list. Sometimes I bring wish lists, which also helps me with booking other shows from parties because most of the time people can't afford to get everything on their wish list. And at that point, I'll then say to them, okay, well, just so you know, you book a party with me, get 20% off all your products, 20% of retail value in free product. So that's a little way of booking other parties from parties. So organizational-wise, I always like to have a clipboard which has a catalog and an order form and a pen, of course, and I hand that out at the very beginning of my show so that while I'm doing a very little brief sort of presentation, I don't like to bore people with a big presentation, but I do always like to tell the story of Alcone because it's so compelling. And I think it just gets people excited because most people have never heard of Alcone Company. So it gets them really excited about, wow, this makeup is amazing. And when they see your passion come out, that's what invites them to buy, right? Because it's building that intimacy with your customers and making sure that you're becoming a trusted advisor, not just a vendor there to sell. So I always do that as far as organization, and then in my presentation I ask people to maybe jot down things they might be interested in learning more about. And then of course I always do the hostess, I always make over the hostess, but I'll pick like 2 or 3 other people. And you can do that in a number of different ways, but I always have everybody who would like to have a makeover put their name on a little piece of paper, put it in a hat, and then I'll draw 2 or 3 names out of the hat. And then those people will be made over. Now I will tell you that whenever I do this, almost everybody at the party still wants to be made over, and because I am such a people pleaser and don't know how to say no, I end up doing a lot of more people's makeup. But of course this translates to more sales as well, right? When you do somebody's full face and they love what you just did, they're going to want to buy everything. But I really think it's important to make sure that we present ourselves as duplicatable because that's going to help us build our teams. And for some people that might not want to stand and do makeup for 4 hours, they're going to say, I can't do this job, right? So I think it's important to sort of find what might work for you, to just do 2 to 3 people at a party. And I always like to do some sort of a giveaway. I don't do a lot of games at my parties. I know it's a big thing with Party Plan is that they do parties to get crowds and guests excited and involved. I don't do that, but I do say, I do bring glosses with me, and I say if anybody would be willing to book a party with me tonight, you go home with a free lip gloss. And that's been very successful for me. I've booked a lot of parties from doing that. Kathy has some ideas that she would like to share because she just had a really successful show the other day where she didn't touch one person's face. So I am so excited to hear what she has to say about that.
Just really quick, I figured I'd give you guys like an idea because I wanted to use all the parties that I've done so far as kind of models. We're so new. Excuse me, we're so new that we can kind of play around with the party model and decide what works best. And so I kind of stumbled upon one the other day that worked really good, and it was awesome because I had at least 10 people there and I didn't have to touch anybody. I did call a model up by the time I was done explaining to everybody else. But one of the things that I do, and I provide to everybody, I get these little 3 packets at Walmart, you know, something like that, very cheap, and notepads. We reuse these for every single party. They rip off the notes that they take, but I like them to jot down everything that they have on these notes before going to the order form and making a big mess of it. You know, like let them see, like, oh, I really like this color, or this is how I do my brow. This is how she told me to do my lip. This is where I put my lip gloss. Little tips and tricks that you kind of want to give them to make them feel like I'm getting a little sneak peek into a professional makeup artist world. Things that they wouldn't know necessarily, you know, just from growing up and doing their own makeup. But one of the other things that I do is I have a clipboard. Again, like little Walmart or Rite Aid or anything like that. I have a little clipboard. I get some palette paper, which I believe, do we still sell that on Alcone's site? If not, Michael's has some palette paper. You just rip out a little wax thing here. And then I put a face chart. I print these off right off of our website. They're on the green room. And I put an order form. So the first thing they do is come in, I just have them fill out their information. That way I'm basically in a dining room setting. Everybody's around the table, community. I'm like right at the end of the table. I have all the stuff in front of them on these charger plates, you know, like a nice round plate, beautiful design. And I actually take out my shadows. I personally, you know, we have them here, but I had the first generation ones of the loose ones. And you know, you can do this or you can leave it like this, but I like to take them out and label the bottom to the little sticker, number 15, number 14, so that way they can easily pick up and take a look and jot down those numbers. Then I go into first, like, Embroily's moisturizer. I'll take a little dab, I'll put it on mine, and then I'll just pass around the thing. I'll just show them how much I do. So that way they only take a little dab of this. Embroily's go into the Lucas Pawpaw ointment, if anybody got that from the additional kit that you could purchase. Put a little bit of lip ointment. Tell them you can use it on your cuticles, you can use it on your, on your elbows, on your lips, and so you see people just moisturizing themselves all up at the very beginning of the party. Going into that, the only really part where I'm very specific with them each is I'll look around and you get to know your foundation colors pretty well after using it. You know, so I'll say, you look like you could be this shade, let's say an olive one or a Shinto one. I can't tell you kind of pink or yellow, so I'll give them a little scrape of each of these on their palette paper. That's when they go ahead, put it on their jaw. If everybody around the table, actually we do it one at a time, so that way I'm not going crazy passing them out. We'll go to one person, she'll put it on her jaw and be like, oh, that looks kind of light. Everybody gives their opinion. And then like, okay, how about this? They put on the next one, they're like, oh my gosh, it looks so great. And then I have them go ahead and apply it all over just with a sponge. And what this does is it, a lot of people, you know, when you have your friends all around you giving you positive reinforcement that this looks really good on you, and I love how that looks so satiny on your skin, and then they're, you know, they're going ahead and saying, well, it doesn't feel dry, it feels great. You know, it's really great for solidifying sales, because if they look good and they feel good and all their friends agree with them, it's one of those things that they automatically jot down on the order form. So I just continue to do this with all the stuff. Eyeshadows, there's like maybe 5 of them that I always go to. I show them how they can use the shadows as liners. I show them how the brow colors. We have some nice, like an ash color right in here. That's really good for brows that they would never know it would be, but because it doesn't turn red on the skin, so it's a very good option for them. They're like, oh, aha moment, you know, that you don't have to use a brown for your face because otherwise it could oxidize and look orange. Just little things like that, you know, just give them little details, and then at that point, you know, they're using the disposables. Oh, sorry, they're using the disposables and doing it all themselves. And when they just kind of want to jump ahead, I tell them, feel free to take those little charger plates, pull off that enduring lip color. Here's a disposable. I put the disposables with the lip colors, and that way they can just go ahead and dig in. So they're listening to you, but they're already off and like finding their colors that they like, you know, and then they're looking back up to see the tips and tricks. By the time I'm done, when I first started this, by the time I was going to have everybody come up to me afterwards so I can like perfect or finish. I didn't need to. Like, this is the second party that I really did it truly like this. The first party I played around with the idea, and the second party, everybody looked great. Everybody had their orders done. Even the model that I pulled up as a demo, she already, like I said, had already finished half her face. I just showed them how to apply the foundation, and they were off and going after that. So I think it's just a good way to not bog yourself down with doing every single, you know, makeup. It's good if you have an open house situation where you're scheduling maybe 30 or 45-minute, you know, party, like one person at a time doing consultations. But when you have a big group like that, I feel like that's the easiest way to come by. Or you team up with somebody, team up with one of your team members and split the party, or, you know, whoever helps, whoever gets the sales for that.
Affecting lives, right? I mean, that's the ultimate purpose here. Yes, we're selling makeup. Yes, we're bringing beauty to women all over the world, but really what I think is the ideal rep, what I think is one of the characteristics of the perfect rep, is affecting lives through relationships, right? We're changing lives, and we can change people's lives with this business. And, for me, that's my purpose.